Okay, so my name is Patricia Gilligan. I live at number 3, 34 to 36 Henry Street, Leichhardt, in the suburb of Leichhardt, in the city of Sydney, in the country of Australia. My telephone number is 955 I have a mobile that I've got here using this recording, but the actual mobile number, as usual, has been made inactive by the Android beings. They set up these situations. I've never even had a mobile number in all the years I've had a mobile. When I get one, they set it up so that when I download it, every time I've downloaded the video, they've turned the power off so that the money on the mobile to keep the number active is dismantled and stopped, so basically no one could ring me. Not that anyone does on the mobile anyway, but I just thought I'd mention that, but that's just part of the control. And they do that every time. They also play on my ignorance of technology, you see, too, because the androids only give you very limited technological information, whereas they have full use of the technology. They use it to control me, but I don't have it for any benefit. That's like having the microchip and the transhuman connection in me. It's no benefit to me, it's only a benefit to them. But many human beings will be induced into these operations and these ideas and to conscious implementation of the transhuman mind to computer implants or technology, you know, the nanotechnology that we've heard about. That was done to me years ago against my conscious knowledge, but many will consciously choose this because they will be allowed the benefits, not realizing that it is a control system, because although it benefits, it does mean that that system controls you, even though you might have benefits from it. So you have to consciously decide to be what they call a total transhuman, cyborg human being. That's the trade-off, as they say. There's always a trade-off. And is the price too high? Well, from my perspective, it is incredibly high. It's the end of you. Oh, look what it's got outside. See that? See the machine's right outside my door, doing non-existent work. It's all staged. Plane is going I knew it was at the back because basically they surround you. Okay, that's what this computer-generated reality is. That means that it's controlled by a computer system that the android beings are using, and they are connected to that because they are actually technology. An android being, an android being is actually not an original real human being. There's very few of them around anyway, or at least that's my perception. Now, whether that is because, let's close the door here, close the door up. Now, whether that is because I am totally surrounded in the inner west section of the city of Sydney in the suburb of Leichhardt, by the whole area being evacuated with human beings, or that all human beings have left the area or passed on, and it's basically been invaded or taken over by the androgyne technical beings that use technology to communicate, to control my body and my mind. And they use this at a scientific level and at a psychological level. All these things are not hidden, so don't think that I'm insane and out of touch by saying them. It's just that you don't think that all these known practices are being used on civilian unknown human beings. But they are, because that's their safest way. But also, this is a reality about technology controlling and taking over. And if you don't realise that there are a couple of different human species, or at least that they're not human species, but they're species in human form that populate the artificial earth, and that also is a myth, that we live in a natural earth. That's part of the human mind control, so that you become fixated on something that actually isn't real, because that's your natural inclination. That would be your natural home if you were a real human, wouldn't it? To live in a natural earth. But, you know, hear the plane going over. Realise that that plane is going through an internet-controlled air. That's the reality, but it's much more deep and much more technological than that. Everything they tell you, that you hear about the transhuman movement, you hear about the transhuman agenda, you hear about the transhuman program, you hear about implants in the body connecting you to the computer system. Some people have actually had these things done, but they're on a minute scale. They don't show you that these connections are not just to where, if you can use your hand to open a door magically as opposed to using the keys. Yes, that may be what appeared to be as a benefit. And for someone like myself that doesn't like touching things, that they use that. The same with the viruses and the bacteria and the fear of germs, all these things that they think that I think are deadly, but they're not the deadly thing. It's actually the computer system that is the real deadly thing. Yes, they can bring in these other things too, but they're all controlled. Everything is controlled. We live in a matrix. That means it's a controlled Earth reality. Just that you don't realise how controlled it is. You know it's controlled a bit, yes. You know that you have powers that be. You know that you follow certain directions. You follow certain rules and regulations. You think it's for your safety, for your benefit, for your survival. But it's much more controlled than that. They follow individual. Every single human being is watched. It's just that most, unlike myself, are not aware of it, because they only show you their full matrix when it's been determined by the beings around, I guess, or even by the powers that be. I'm not sure who's determined it, but then they just bring the whole matrix down on around you. They activate the transhuman connection, or the the implementation of where they have inserted the microscopic technology into your body by various means. And let's be honest, you could just go to the supermarket and buy some food, and you could take chemicals that could be transmitters into your body. Usually it's permanent though, because when they have it, when they want to watch you in minute detail, they need to see through your eyes like they do here. So, and when you realise that you have no life of your own, no privacy, no normal, what you would think in a civilised city, because you assume you're in the civilised city of Sydney, in the country of Australia, which used to be one of the most civilised places, you don't realise that it's a camouflage for a total control system that is actually breaking what you would have thought are the normal common decency. Just normal common decency. But of course you don't realise that, well, you do realise now that when you have this malignancy of narcissism that is also prevalent in the society, that's just another excuse for camouflaging the reality of a different species, I believe, okay? And that is the truth.